All right, what's going on, guys? Having college maxing parents has got to be the biggest IRL debuff. Being around these people just ages you, and then you turn into like a senior citizen. And whether it's Ivy League notoriety or investment banking, bragging rights, or name brand clothes, or new cars, or ranks in a game, just living around these people just drains your fucking like life essence. Like, when you play a game for the first time and your friends are like, "Oh yeah, this will be great," and you start entering that like gold or plat range, and then it just doesn't even feel funny anymore. It's just like the same, like the same way learning stops being fun, right? Like in like middle school, high school, like that's what it's like, man. Like I had this student of mine who he went to Wharton, right? And I think by the time he hit industry, he was like drifting into the abyss. But yeah, anyway, let me just show you how fucking crazy college maxes are, right? Like, so I was coerced to lie on my college apps. I applied to 3 colleges so far. I wanted to wait later, but I was rushed by my parents because they believe I won't get a scholarship if I do it later. While applying, we encountered the responsibilities and circumstances section. My dad insisted that I should check all the boxes. He took my device and checked almost all of them. Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know, this is what it looks like. Now, I checked all the boxes, the ones that OP's family most likely checked for clarity's sake, and chances are they're not a farmer. Chances are they're not driving people around. Chances are they're not taking care of kids. When I told him how unrealistic it was, I was screamed at and called stupid. He argued that these lies would help me look better. I have 140 volunteer hours, 8 APs, and I live in a very wealthy area, so it is very bizarre for me to have 5 to 6 family circumstances for 4 hours each week. All right, guys, let's do some math. This says 4 hours per week, right? Let's say that OP does this every weekday. How many minutes are they doing per weekday if it's 4 hours a week? That's right, 48 minutes a weekday. Now they got 6 of these activities. How many minutes a weekday is that now? Oh, that's 288 minutes a weekday. That's about 5 hours a day. So OP's parents think it's normal to do 5 hours of circumstances, plus volunteering, plus max rigor, which, mind you, is a lot harder than people think. And they're not even the ones taking max rigor courses. Yeah, I don't know about that, dude. Think at that point, you might as well trust the student who actually knows the class rigor and knows how long it takes to work in it. When I tried to change it, they were yelling and even restraining me. My mom made sure to monitor my application so I couldn't change it, as my dad said I was going to quote unquote ruin it. Just for some extra context, when OP said she was getting restrained, she meant that very literally. As you could see in their comment here, they grabbed my arm so I couldn't change it. Also, what the fuck is this guy in the comment chain talking about? No one coerced you to lie. You completed your applications and you chose to lie knowing it was wrong. Take ownership of your fault, learn from it to do better, and do not blame others. Yeah, this is why you don't college max people. This guy misinterpreted the post so fucking bad that it's not even a strawman fallacy at this point. He's like debating in a parallel universe. Eventually, I was able to convince them to limit the amount of checked boxes to 2, but I couldn't remove all the false information. The application has already been submitted. What are the next steps I should take? Okay, so I'm gonna actually try to give some advice here. So I'm actually hoping everyone goes through something like anybody who's going through something similar to this, like, gets at least some kind of benefit. Okay, but first, some perspective. What the fuck are we putting in the water, dude? Why are we wrestling with our own kids? Rhetorical question. I know why. It's because prestige is so important to college maxing parents that anything that would possibly compromise their admissions chances would shatter the inflated reputation that they built up in their head. Like, oh my god, like I think I noticed this a lot with like a lot of first gen immigrants, right? Uh they like go to this new country and then they're expecting that they're gonna have this like Cornelius Vanderbilt level of like success. And so they just like build this shit up in their head, right? And they're not willing to compromise on it because it would just like impose on that vision that they made up in their heads with their kids, right? And kind of like how neckbeards impose this perfect image of a woman in their head onto their crushes that they never even talk to. Like, it's actually fucking shameless because they're so narrow minded and hyper focused on that prestigious Ivy League syrup that they don't even see all the stupid shit that they're actually proposing. It's like, why talking logic to these people seldom if ever works. Sometimes you try to communicate with logic to these people and they just aren't willing to listen, because listening to you means potentially compromising on that purely theoretical chance of a boosted acceptance rate. Like, bro, don't make me lie on my apps, this shit is so dumb. Nah, bro, trust me, it's worth the risk, just take the risk. Bro, they're gonna know I didn't start a $10 billion nonprofit. Trust me, bro, you don't want to miss the chance. Not gonna lie, I actually encountered both students and parents who propose really silly ideas, and like, it's not even that big of a deal, right? As an admissions consultant, it's like super easy, right? Like, all you got to do is just be like, yeah, don't do that, you'll get in trouble. That's it. But it's the college maxers who won't listen and bulldoze through the advising and consulting that they paid for, by the way. That actually just ages me like Darth Sidious. But like, yeah, like, here's some advice, okay? Here's what you gotta do. You gotta surround yourself with really grounded people. Let me explain. When you're still living under your family's roof, you don't really have much of a say in anything. Like, my house, my rules. Fair enough, right? But once you leave, you're probably going to have opportunities present themselves to you. And you're going to get unsolicited advice from people who are super emotionally invested and absolutely not in the right headspace, like your parents. In fact, their anxious nagging is just going to drain you of your energy. Energy that you can't afford, by the way. But bagpipe, you might ask. They might be prestige whoring, but they're family. I should be supportive of them and ease their anxieties because they're just worried that they might love me, right? No. When you're getting further into your career, you need to think of this. Like, think of it like you're a project manager, okay? Do you think your college maxing parents are just going to be less anxious when you're finally in college? No. No, they're not. They're going to be more anxious because that's how the college maxing brain works. It's like addicted to anxiety. The limited time and energy you have will become your greatest asset. So, how much time and energy do your college maxing parents drain out of you? Or, better question, how often have you found yourself exhausting precious time and stamina during finals week to be your parents' psychologist? Like, like, yeah. What about during SATs and ACTs? Yeah. What about now while you're finishing college apps? By now, you're probably working, what, like two full time jobs, student and therapist for your parents? If you're older and starting your own business or working in some shit like IB, do you think you're going to have extra resources to also work as a therapist? No. In fact, you're probably willing to spend a good chunk of that money on some extra vacation time because your time is worth that much. You could be close with your family, you could be close with people who are more volatile, but it's up to you. But if you're going to go hard on a career path, you have to think like a project manager. Teachers do not have the time nor energy to deal with really horrible misbehavior. They just have to kick them out. Artists who want to make it big in entertainment, like Riot Games or Naughty Dog, they'll come across art professors who throw a hissy fit when they don't focus on their bum ass abstract interpretive dance class. Those classes are filler credits and don't contribute to you getting closer to building a winning portfolio for top studios. You're better off just like passing with a C and locking in on Photoshop, not gonna lie. And they're gonna bitch and moan, right? Like, if you're empathetic, it's gonna suck because it's gonna weigh on you, but like, you can't afford that time and energy. Avoid energy vampires. Cut and dry. That is it. But yeah, not gonna lie, this has been a bit of a depressing video, and I do think I was quite harsh in this one, but I think this is one of those cases where I actually did have to be really brutally honest about this. I don't say this in triumph, by the way. I'm not like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about them kids. Like, it's just like when you're older, you have to really think about how you budget like the time and energy as a resource. And I've seen this mismanagement of time and energy ruin schools and ruin careers and even just blow up entire lives in general, right? So, yeah. But anyway, if you guys need anything like admissions advising or consulting, feel free to reach out via email in the description box below. See you then in the next one. You restraining Cornelius Vanderbilt looking Darth Sidious aging college maxing goobers.